Next on AM 1480 WLEA, the Newsmaker Show. Here's Ryan O'Neill.
Very glad to have with us St. James anesthesiologist Dr. Ismail Mehr. We're going to be talking about St. James Hospital today. Dr. Mehr, thanks for coming in.
Hey, it's great to be here, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Well, Dr. Mehr, so much to talk about with the new hospital. Let's start out with the tour. You just took a tour of the new St. James. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was exciting. Yesterday, I'm part of the board of directors for the hospital, and we had a sneak peek preview of the hospital. So any of you guys on Facebook can probably tune in there, and I posted a bunch of pictures. And so the entire board went over, and we had a full tour of the facility. It's about 60% done. And when I say 60%, that's a huge facility, so that 40% is still a pretty big task. But we got a good idea of the footprint of where everything is, how it's going to look like, and then final touches coming together. And hopefully next year, around February, March of 2020, we'll be opening. So definitely exciting. And the perspective that I was putting into this was that just 5 years ago, we were out putting up signs on Seneca Road and signing petitions, and we had Save Our Hospital Committee, and with the mayor's former Mayor Hogan and current Mayor John Buckley, myself, and Dr. Collins, and so many of us in the community we were out there trying to get this going to save this hospital, and it was really humbling to see that the hard work of this community. And when I say community, I mean all of us paid off in saving this hospital.
You mentioned Dr. Collins in your answer there. He's now retired.
Yes. So Dr. Collins is officially retired. Wish him well. I've been in touch with him. He's doing well. Sends his regards to everyone. And his plan always was to sort of pass the baton on to the next generation of surgeons once we could have them come into place. And as many of you know, last year we had Dr. Watkins and Dr. Adam Bassler join us, a bit younger, newer trained general surgeons. And, with that, I'll take some liberty to share that, we've been doing some amazing procedures here at St. James in the OR. Just last week, we did 2 laparoscopic colon surgeries for colon cancer, where you don't have a big incision any longer, and it's done all laparoscopically, something which is done in the big cities and the big medical centers with, medical schools and residents and whatnot, but we're doing that stuff here. And these patients went home 3 days after surgery. They were home and doing well. We've done some really advanced, complicated hernia surgeries that some of the patients have had. We've done those laparoscopically.
This is in the current or old
here
St. James building.
Here at St. James right now. We can do everything we're going to do in the new hospital in the current hospital. So I think that's an important message to send out to the community, also to our physician providers out there is, a lot of the things that maybe during the transition time when we weren't sure if we were going to be having a hospital here or not, and people were deciding to go out of town, check here first because we really can do a lot of the advanced general surgery stuff here in town and take care of it. And we've been doing it for the last year, and these last few months we've really ramped it up. With Dr. Bass and Dr. Watkins' expertise, and Dr. Collins was still working the last few months until recently his retirement, and it was great. But now that he's retired, rest assured, as he always wanted, general surgery is in good hands, and we're probably going to be able to offer things that we weren't doing before, like this advanced laparoscopic surgical procedures that we're doing.
You talked about the old St. James and the new St. James. I have a lot of questions here. I'd like to find out about the new surgical center, but first I want to ask you talk about how for a while people were kind of going out of town during the hospital crisis situation when the hospital almost shut down. How is the St. James patient census numbers these days?
The census is it's doing well. It's before we had a lot of ups and downs, so now we're running sort of smoothly at a probably almost 75% to 80% census. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but that's what I recall from our last meetings. It's doing well. People are having trust in us again, and I think that's good. And I think myself as a member of the community and a member of the board understand that there was some loss of trust during this transition period. I mean, when you're worried that the hospital's going to close down and services were being cut short, of course there's some concerns there. But I think we're turning that tide. People are getting their confidence again. We have some great doctors joining us. I already mentioned the 2 general surgeons. We have an awesome orthopedic surgeon who does upper extremity, Dr. Mark O'Donnell. So all those sports-related shoulder problems, hand problems, and not necessarily all just sports, arthritis and whatnot, anything in the upper extremity, he's phenomenal, and we've been doing those procedures here, so you don't need to go out of town for upper extremity. We have Dr. Axtell, who comes in from Wellsville, who does general orthopedics and takes care of everything else. I just happened to be operating him earlier today, and he does a great job. And then we still have Dr. Halpenny, who helps cover the emergency department and takes care of his patients as well and does a great job. We're on the up. We got Dr. Abdul Chaudhry here, gastroenterologist. I'm not sure if many know. We actually have 2 gastroenterologists in town, Dr. Gutman and Dr. Chaudhry. Dr. Chaudhry is well known in the area. He works at Dansville and he works at Olean and Warsaw and has a reputation of being a great gastroenterologist. He's here every Thursday doing endoscopy procedures. Which is great because then he works directly with Dr. Bassler and Dr. Watkins. So if there is unfortunate findings or something that needs a little surgical care, you get it done right then and there in terms of getting that consult in and getting that patient down the road. So I think we're coming together with the concept of bringing new doctors in. We have a new urologist joining us in the end of summer. We have Dr. Naga, who's awesome, and we're going to have another urologist joining us, so offering more advanced and some of the latest urological services. We're adding 2 new hospitalists, I understand. I know one is confirmed, and we got our fingers crossed on another one to help Dr. Randawa out. So you'll have some more hospitalists in town. So, the trend is upward. The common thing I've heard is we need more doctors. We need more people coming here. We're getting the doctors to come here now, too. I mean, they're interested. They see a great facility. They see a future in the new hospital and great health care that we've always done. So numbers are turning. To answer your question, it was long-winded, but I just wanted to share all the new exciting things we have here. So it's important for community members, ask your primary care doctor, is this something I can get taken care of in Hornell? I know a lot of the primary care doctors, may not always be in tune on what we can do, what we can't. So ask them, hey, I heard we have some new surgeons in town. I'd like to at least go see them first. Because remember, the old model was save this hospital. Now we have to use this hospital.
Talking to Hornell anesthesiologist Dr. Ismail Mehr for the last, 3 weeks, nurses have been posting all over Facebook because they got plenty annoyed with a Republican state senator, and I can tell from your smile that you know where I'm going. A Republican state senator out of the state of Washington put out there was a video of her talking in some legislative situation where she made a crack about
nurses just playing cards or something in the free time.
I didn't really understand the point she was trying to make.
I don't remember the exacts. I know where you're getting at. She was alluding to healthcare, and there's a lot of free time, and nurses end up playing cards or something to that effect. And I'm personally offended by that.
You think all the double duty, triple duty nurses?
I mean, and not just here for our nurses here in Hornell, who are exceptional and dedicated and been here for so many years, and then the new nurses that have joined us are just as awesome. But I'm offended for all of us in healthcare. It doesn't really matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. I don't think politics is really the issue here. I think it's just someone who doesn't really appreciate the time and efforts that it takes in takes to take care of just one patient, yet alone when nurses have 5 to 7 patients on the floor or in the ICU, they're one-to-one with a critically ill patient, or in the OR when you're operating and your life and death is on knocking on the door. So, with that, I think that's fitting that you bring that up because it is also Nurses Appreciation Week, and I personally cannot thank the nursing staff that I work with day in and day out enough. They've made me a better doctor, and I always say that when you're young and come out of training, you really rely on the nurses around you, and you think that that's going to end and once you get your ways and get experience as a physician, but I'll be the first to say it doesn't. Every day it's those nurses that make me a better doctor, that make sure that the patient care and outcomes are the best that they can be. So to all the nurses out there, happy Nurses Week, and on behalf of myself and my wife, we appreciate you all so much.
How is the nursing situation at St. James, old and new? How's that looking?
It's looking good. I don't have I'm not privileged to all the numbers on what our staffing needs are. I do know in the operating room we're looking to add some nurses, which is a plus sign because that means we're getting busier.
Is for both the old and new before you make the move, and then when you make
it? Yeah. So I see old and new in terms of new hospital. No, we're talking about right now currently. So that's a good sign. I'm not, like I said, as privileged to the floor on our staffing situation for nursing and how we're doing there, but I've heard no complaints or issues up there. But in the OR, we're getting busier. So that's a good sign. People coming, we're operating more, and so we're looking for, I believe, 1 or 2 more nurses in the operating room. So if anyone in the area is out there in the nursing career or knows someone who is, they can go online to the St. James website and take a look for what the openings are.
At St. James Hospital in Hornell. That's great. We're going to take a quick break talking to Dr. Ismail Mehr about St. James Hospital today. Back in just a moment.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/search. That's ZipRecruiter.com/search.
Checking in now with meteorologist Rob Carroll, who says it's going to be a little rainy today.
It is, Brian. We're tracking some rain right now, working its way through Michigan into the state of Ohio and Indiana. It's associated with an area of low pressure that's moving across Wisconsin. That'll pass off to our north and west over the next 24 hours. Not only is the system going to be bringing us some rain, but it's also going to bring us some milder temperatures. A lot of cloudiness today, Brian. A few showers will develop later this afternoon. We're 65 to 70. Sunrise this morning was at 5:54. It'll set tonight at 8:17. We'll have showers tonight. May get a thunderstorm. Mild overnight with lows of 55 to 60. Tomorrow looks wet with scattered showers and storms. It also looks warm, 70 to 75. Showers will end tomorrow night. It'll start to clear. We'll turn cooler, 40 to 45. Saturday looks like the better of the 2 weekend days. Mostly sunny, 65, Brian. Clouds and some showers in the forecast for Mother's Day Sunday.
Talking with Dr. Ismail Mehr today on the Newsmaker show. Let's go back to the tour of the new St. James.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, the entire board was privileged to have a sneak peek of the new hospital. The cool thing was I got to tour around with one of my classmates, Mark Pernosky. Everyone knows the Pernosky family in town. Mark and I graduated together. We're good friends, and he's the CFO at FF Thompson in Canandaigua, and he often is also part of our finance team here at St. James. So he joins us at our board meeting. So we got to meet up and tour the hospital together, which was sort of nice. In terms of the new hospital, it's you walk in and you really just get awe-sprung. And even right now, we're all the walls aren't up and things aren't all in place yet, but it was just amazing. State-of-the-art emergency room. Everything is one-stop shop. I think that's the important message. So as we progress to the new hospital in a year, you'll have the medical office building next door. And I'm going to backtrack for a second to talk about this medical office building. So
that was one of my next questions.
So some of you have already been up there. That's already up and functional. I mean, all your doctors in town are there, besides a few who are private practice, but everyone else is up there. And I was just talking with Dr. Bassler yesterday, and he made a good point. It was like it's a one-stop shop when you're in that medical office building. Dr. Bassler sees a patient who needs to have a hernia done, but is a little bit worried about his heart. Well, instead of making phone calls and saying, hey, can I get you into the cardiologist next month? Or, we all know how hard it is to get into certain doctors. He's like, I can get up, I walk over, knock on the door, and talk to the cardiologist. Say, hey, I really need to get this patient on a bit urgently. Can you get him in tomorrow maybe or later today? So, Dr. Welpley has a question about a patient. He might be seeing you in the office, and he's not sure if this is surgical or not. He can get up and walk down the hall and talk to the surgeons. And then when you need your labs done, it's right there, your x-ray and whatnot. So it's a one-stop sort of medical shopping mall is what I say. You come in and you get everything done there, and that's really been amazing. And the second part of it's going to be the hospital when it's next door. So going back to that, as I was saying, we saw the emergency room, which is state-of-the-art. Everything that we're getting is brand new, spanking new technology. We toured that. Then we got a chance to take a look at the whole first floor, the new radiology diagnostic imaging center. I mean, we're going to have a state-of-the-art CT scanner. We're going to have our own MRI machine right here in town. We're going to have the women's imaging center. So for all the breast cancer and breast diagnostic, breast workup, preventive care stuff that is so important for our population in this area can be done here instead of having to go out of town to get that done, in terms of your basic just diagnosis and preventive care. Then we took a tour of the second floor. That's where I got really excited because I got to see the new ORs, 4 brand new ORs, 2 are procedure rooms, but they can be interused. Amazing. They're huge, 600 square feet. I mean, they're big. State-of-the-art equipment. We're going to have all high-definition monitoring in those ORs. We're going to have these boom systems where everything is hanging from the ceiling, so anyone who's listening who understands healthcare will know what I'm talking about. Just state-of-the-art processing, brand new stuff there. And then we'll walk over to the med-surg unit, or what we call the floor in the current hospital. And huge rooms. Every room is a private room. So no more rooming with anyone. Everything's in line of sight. A huge nurses station with again.
If I could stop you for a second,
sure.
That point you just made about the rooms being private, that's going to be a plus for a lot of people. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everything.
Every now and then, when you got so busy, you got a roommate. Now every room is designated to be a private room.
Not to knock the roommate system, but
totally.
It's much better for people in a hospital to be in a private room.
Especially the rooms are larger. When you have family visiting, everything's in line of sight. The nurses can monitor every room. And then we have each one of these rooms. 5 of these rooms, I believe, can be upgraded to ICU care, so we can provide that more advanced care for sicker patients. So everything's on the up. And like I said, that's when we get to the new hospital. This is happening. But I like to remind everyone in terms of a lot of the things right now, especially on the surgical side. We could do all those procedures right now in the current hospital. We have some great new surgeons. We have some awesome surgeons who have been on staff for many years. So this combination of old and new surgeons is working great. So again, the reminder to everyone is if you're getting referred out of town, take them in and ask your doctor, hey, do you mind if I go see the new surgeons in town, or go see, them first and see if they can take care of this here. They'll be the first ones to let you know that they can't. We don't do anything here that we don't feel comfortable. I think that's something I pride myself on as a chair in anesthesia. I'll be very frank and forward with the surgeons when I think it's something that we right now don't have the capabilities from a medical perspective. And they do the same when they think surgically it's something that's better served somewhere else. But you'll be surprised, 80% of the stuff that might be thinking of going out of town for, we can take care of that right here in town. And it's no longer save our hospital. It really is use our hospital. We've been blessed with this money from the state. we need to put that money, we need to put ourselves in that facility now, the current facility, and come use it to transition over to the new hospital.
We've been talking to Hornell St. James anesthesiologist Dr. Ismail Mehr. Dr. Mehr, you're into Ramadan now.
Yeah, it's a little change of topic here. So this is the holy month of Ramadan for 1.8 billion Muslims around the world. Ramadan's the holiest of months for us, and it's becoming more and more known. I remember as a kid, no one knew about Ramadan besides us, and now it's pretty common. I can't imagine, the number of people I've seen while I'm going around town who stop by and wish me happy Ramadan. How's fasting going? So I think it's unique to how the world is so much closer than what it was at times.
Did I just see on your Facebook page that you were at a local school talking?
Yeah, I was invited by the high school, and the high school held what's called a belief celebration day. The 9th grade history class did, and it was amazing. I mean, it wasn't just every faith was represented, because I believe they're learning about different religions and faiths in their global history right now. I mean, from Hinduism, Sikhism, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, different sects in Christianity, to Confucianism. It was amazing. So I got to speak to spend a whole afternoon from about 11 to 2:30 speaking to the 9th graders about Islam, and shared a lot about Ramadan. For those of you who may not be familiar with it, it's a holy month where we as Muslims fast from sunrise to sundown. So I'm actually fasting right now. That means no drinking, no eating. It's also there's no sexual contact of any nature during this time. And many ask, well, why is it? Why do you starve yourselves or hold yourself back from that? The simple answer is it's a month of self-control. It's a month of self-reflection. It's a month of reminder that God is always watching and that He's all-knowing. And it's a month of just cleansing ourselves in terms of everything we do, in terms of how we interact with those around us. We might be short other times a year with someone, or rude or whatnot, things that we all of any faith shouldn't be. But for us in Ramadan, we try to correct our character in that sense, with the thought and hope that after Ramadan ends, we would continue being that way. So it's a special month. It's a lot of celebrations every evening across the country. When in Muslim households, when sun goes down, there's big feasts and big dinners. The only downside is it's short nights. We're up at about 4:10 in the morning for breakfast, and so sleep deprivation is definitely a thing. My son's fasting, Ibrahim. Normally when you get to about 13, 14 years old is when it becomes obligatory. So he's being sleep deprived, but I remember going through it myself at that age, and ultimately I think it just builds character. So we're if you see any of your Muslim colleagues or friends or community members, just take note, they're probably fasting, and you can wish them a happy Ramadan. Much appreciated.
Well, Dr. Ismail Mehr, that's great to know, and thank you for stopping in and sharing that with us, and also all this great information about St. James.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone needs information, you can go on our website, stjames.org. Many people know me personally. You can reach out to me. I get text messages all the time from people. So-and-so has this kind of hernia or has this. Do you think we can take care of it in Hornell? And I'll give you my honest opinion. I will say this, our surgeons are excellent across the board. By Dr. Bassler, Watkins, O'Donnell, Axel, Halpenny, Naga, you name them. And we're really excited about the things we can offer, and we're looking to be busier and move over to this new hospital and really be booming. So thank you, Brian.
Thank you so much.